I would like to address my next question to Deputy Chairperson for the Commission of the African Union, Madam Monique Nsanzabaganwa. Madam, Minister has mentioned the 2063 agenda, which is the main program document of the African Union. The agenda was adopted on January the 31st, 2015. This agenda stipulates that by 2063, so by the centenary of the establishment of the African Union, back then it was the Organization of the African Union, has to become, I quote, an integrated, prosperous and peaceful continent governed by its own citizens and playing a significant role in the international arena. It's been around 10 years since the adoption of the agenda. What do you think is the main achievement that the African Union has managed to secure along this path? And another issue that is of concern to all of our partners. Amid the illegitimate sanctions, one of the main problems is the system of payments. Before you assumed this post of Deputy Chairperson for the Commission of the African Union, for 10 years, you had held a high position in the National Bank of Rwanda. So, according to your professional standpoint, what would this payment system look like? Can we stop using dollar? Can we replace it with something, with a new form of payments with a national digital currency? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me thank you for these complex questions, and also thank the honorable ministers for assisting me with especially introducing the Agenda 2063, which is your main question, number one. You know, Agenda 2063, of course, we have completed the first 10-year plan. We implement it in chunks of 10 years. And our leaders adopted the second plan February this year. It's going to run until 2033. If I can summarize what we have achieved over the last 10 years in one word, that will be convergence. Convergence, we have achieved setting this agenda as our blueprint and as our anchor for our domestic policies, our regional interventions, and our partnerships. That is really key. We have managed to domesticate it. We are not yet fully there, but we have seen already many achievements. If I could just cite some of them: in infrastructure development, in economic growth, in governance and democracy, in social development, in peace and security. The agenda has 7 aspirations. And within each aspirations, we have really made a lot of progress. We have flagship projects, one of which being FCFTA, which is integrating our market so that we have a free trade area. That one in 5 years we have implemented fully. We have started trading using the regime under the FCFTA. We are now talking of value addition, value chains development as we focus on industrialization, for instance. We have frameworks in place that are indeed putting our common position and our common guidance in all areas, if I can name them. Some frameworks like the FCFTA itself for trade, frameworks like for guiding us on how we can integrate our airspaces, framework on infrastructure development on the continent, PIDA, a framework on agriculture in Africa, CADEP. We have so many frameworks. We have a framework on how we can deal with pandemics. Really, we are working together. We have now built institutions, which is key. because institutions are there to support ourselves in this collective effort. Starting by the Commission. We have reformed the Commission, and now we are undergoing institutional reform of the entire Union, including the architecture from the continental through the regional blocks to the nations. We have now in place institutions like our development agency, AUDA, like our CDC, which is our continental public health institution. We have a regulatory in medicines, AMA. We have now FCFT Secretariat that has been running all these programs of integration. Really, we have made progress. We even have an Africa Business Council. Our private sector has also organized into that framework as a strong institution of the Union. Those are the things that we have achieved over these 10 years. We have now platforms like the G20 that is contributing to our aspiration number 7 on Africa becoming an influential global player on the global scene, as we also contribute our fair share in the development of our world. So really, I can say that in a nutshell, that we have really made a lot of progress, and we still continue going forward. One key focus we want going forward is now to accelerate. The key word is accelerate, which is where we are looking forward to the Russian Federation to join us as we accelerate. We are calling for investments, we are calling for trade, we are calling for exchange of knowledge, research, technology. We are talking about joining our voice as we continue to level the playing ground, which has been marginalizing Africa. And we hope that together we can make some way ahead. I must say that it has been very warming at heart to listen all the member states who have participated in this forum, in this conference, attest with hard facts how the Russian Federation has been on our side during the times of decolonization, of fighting against apartheid and others. Today, the African Union, we are saying, can we now also be working together to liberate ourselves economically and to create prosperity for our people, for our youth, for our women, for our private sector to flourish? So that's, if I can say, with Agenda 2063. Now, with regard to your second question, of course, in international trade, means of payments or medium of payments is a very critical issue. Historically, we have seen several modes, from barter trade to the gold standards to today, and it's also a reality when access to foreign currency is hindered because you need that for international trade with different partners to flourish. I would put it simply in terms of how, as Africa and African institutions, we are looking at this issue strategically. Mainly, we are doing two things. One is a tool that has been alluded to earlier today, which is the establishment and operationalization of the Pan-African settlement systems. We call it PAPS, PAPSS. This is a tool that in partnership with the African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, we are contributing to putting in place. Daily transactions in local currencies are being done as we speak because it has started gradually. And daily net settlements in foreign exchange are being also done. It is so far working very well. It's covering both goods and services, and we are now fast-tracking the uptake of that tool. The second thing that we are doing is that we are moving towards the African common currency. You know that you have an agenda of ultimately becoming a monetary union. On this agenda, we have so far last year, no, a couple of years back, the Assembly of Heads of State and Government has adopted a set of macroeconomic convergence. And to monitor this convergence of all the member states, we needed to put in place a monetary institute that is going to be doing the monitoring. This year, we've been working on that project. Hopefully, in the upcoming Assembly of February 2025, we will present the instrument that is establishing this institute for adoption. And once this institute is in place, it will start its work, and eventually it will facilitate macroeconomic convergence towards a single African currency. So as our share of what we can do in this space, that's indeed where we are focusing, and we hope that it's going to help us alleviate some of the issues that you have already mentioned. Thank you.
Большое спасибо, Monique.
Thank you very much, Monique.